everybody. Today I'm sitting here with Xavier Saer, aka Ultraviolet Ray. Welcome. I hope you're doing
Thank you
good
so
so
much.
far. Javier, please introduce yourself briefly and tell us a little bit about why we're actually here.
Well, I am a melodic house DJ producer and songwriter. I'm originally from Peru, lived most of my life in South Africa. Recently just moved to Ireland, so I'm kind of doing music in three continents, and I'm here to absolutely thrilled to announce my new single, which is called "The Feeling." And it's a great song. It's all about good vibes and energy, and it's gonna be out on Six Music on the 27th of September.
Awesome! I'm really excited to hear that release on Six Music. Are there any special stories or any special experiences that inspired you during your new project?
Well, at the moment, I'm traveling between two worlds, between Africa and Ireland, and in that trajectory, I guess, in that journey, I've just spending so much time in airports and traveling. I've seen so many beautiful things. So from people not seeing each other for years to meeting a stranger on a plane to having the most incredible conversation to somebody next to me to just experiencing two different worlds in two different countries. All of those experiences, all those feelings uh, came to me and just kind of allowed me to write that song. So it's that kind of I'm mixing the feelings of two worlds at the moment, and I just cannot wait for people to hear it.
What's your favorite thing about these two different worlds?
They're both so different. It's like asking what's your favorite movie. You can't choose really. I mean, Ireland and South Africa are just so completely different worlds. Like I was telling you earlier, it's winter now, but it feels like summer in Ireland. So it's I love being in Africa. There's certain warmth here with the people. I've been here. I mean, I've been living in South Africa for about 30 years, so it's like my home. And Ireland on the other side, for me, it's a completely different world. People are different, but nonetheless, it's just beautiful and exciting, and it's just a different world for me there. So that I'm getting slowly getting used to. So all of that stuff, all of the experiences that are very inspiring to my music. And for an artist, you can ask for better.
Awesome, right. Well, and now talking more about your track right now, are there, or could you tell us more about the creative process behind your track, The Feeling?
So I've been writing since I was a kid, as long as I can remember. I mean, the writing is the most natural process for me. It's like driving. I don't have to think about it. So, it's just sitting down in the piano, getting some chords done, some chords that I love, emotional chords, something that touches you already from the moment you listen to it. So it was a very simple process. It flowed, and I worked this time with an Italian writer and producer, and we both wrote the song together. And it was just the most organic process, to be honest. It just flowed like water.
What are the biggest challenges that you have to face while producing music? Do you have to work constantly on something, or are there always something new that is challenging?
I don't know if you heard the dog bark, but that was one of the biggest challenges on any song. So that will be number one. But some tracks just become a little harder than others. To be honest, this was a breeze. This just flowed from the second we started. It was nothing that really. It was when Francesca and I looked at each other. It's like, listen, dude, like this just happened so naturally and organically. I guess getting the right vocals for this was probably the biggest challenge. But to be honest, it was beautiful. It was the most seamless thing.
No.
Yeah.
So like you went with the flow and everything happened like it should be.
Yeah, we didn't have to plan nothing. We had to. It's just sitting in front of a piano, and the chords just came. Listen, let's try this, let's try that, and almost the first feelings that we had, and the first thing we put in the track, are those that are in the track right now. So it's always like since I was a kid, man. I was went with the first feeling. It's always the most pure. It's like having a bite of an ice cream, you know? The first bite is always going to be the best. And from down
Yeah.
in, for the next one is just downhill from there, right? So it's the same thing with us. It was the first touch, the first feeling, the first thing, and it's just happened beautifully.
Oh, awesome, awesome. Well, and now a little bit more to you. What or how did you get into music, and what inspired you to choose this genre, melodic house? You're producing melodic house music, yeah. So yeah.
I watched Paul Oakenfold in the 90s and Carl Cox. They came to South Africa in
Hmm.
the early 90s, and seeing them perform live was life changing. So that has to be one of the top things that I would say influenced my DJ career. Um, but yes, I guess the shutdowns were now lately what really, and not just me, but I think I'm sure you've seen online that there's just everybody's a DJ nowadays. So I think it's inspired so many people to express themselves, through music. So
Yeah.
although it have negative connotations, it's also got so many beautiful and positive connotations, and that's what I'd rather focus on, to be honest.
Yeah, how important is the interaction with your fans, especially maybe while you have a gig, and or in generally, does your fans or the interaction with your fans influence your music, the way you produce, the way you do music?
I think that's probably the biggest thing in the world for a DJ is to perform live in front of people that love your music and that they know you. And that is like an adrenaline, that fuels, I think, any DJ's passion, is to have that interaction, to see a crowd move and react to your songs, to sing them, to sing your lyrics is probably the best thing in the world. And I wish anybody in the world could experience that once, the exhilaration of listening to a crowd sing back your songs. So, yeah, I guess every DJ lives for those moments. And every time you play your song for the first time to a live crowd, you you go back to that feeling, go back to all the hours you put into making a song, because it's a labor of love. People don't know how long it takes to produce music, and to pour all those feelings to a crowd and they reacting is the biggest thing in the world.
Cool, cool. Which artists are the most that have influenced your style?
Yeah, I mean, Ben Bober was one of the first. Now I'm so into Sultan and Shepherd at the moment. I would say they are the most influential band in my life at the moment. Um, I like Jero, Lane 8, Hassan, Tin Liquor. So a mix of melodic and progressive house artists. But also Sultan and Shepherd is my band. Yeah, I flew to Ireland from South Africa. I didn't have to be in Ireland, but I flew to Belfast just to watch them live last year, because they had an American tour, and the closest place was Belfast. And we became friends online, because we encourage each other, and I love their music. And they say they say live on stage, yeah, thank you, Xavier, for coming from South Africa to see us. So that was a great moment. But just the way they write songs is very much the way that I think and I write about music. I'm very melodic in my songs, very emotional in my chords. I like words that can connect to people. Uh, People say when they hear my music, they don't know if they wanna cry or they wanna laugh. It's that kind of in between. It's that kind of euphoric feeling. So very much inspired by them. Definitely.
Well, perfect to that. Like talking about the what your fans or people who hear your music feel. Like, what message do you want to share with those people, and why is it important to you?
Man, I'm just in a great stage in my life. I think I've worked on who I am for very long, and I feel very comfortable with my skin, and I feel very happy to be alive. And I think I want to convey those feelings. I want to convey the way that I feel inside. I want to share that with the world through my music, through the way I play music, and I want my sets to take people to a deeper level. My sets, there's a euphoria aspect to it, but it's also an introspective aspect to music. So it's a journey
Yeah.
that takes you through an emotional ride, from ups and downs, because it kind of images life.
Yeah.
It's the same thing of life. So I just want people to know how I feel inside, which is pretty damn good.
Let's start with that. How often do you have gigs, or do you have any gigs planned for the
I'm
future?
in a limbo period at the moment where I'm in between South Africa and Ireland uh, quite often, maybe every month and a half to 2 months. So it's hard for me to get booked at the moment, to be honest. So I've spoken to some of my agents that they know the situation. When I was in Ireland, I was lucky to be discovered by the manager of one excellent band in Ireland, and they asked me to be their DJ. So I traveled with the guys with this band throughout Ireland, and that's one of the best ways I got to know most of the country. So that was great, but I was living in Ireland at that time. Now in South Africa, I organize sometimes my own events, but I'm not as gigging as much as I would like to, just because of that traveling thing. And I mean, often we have to be booked months in advance. So, but definitely, as long as I get into a more constant routine of performances, I'll let you guys know.
In terms of you do your own you do your own events. Um, why why do you do that? What's the significance that you bring in that, or what do you want to achieve with it?
So when I lived here about 3 4 years ago, I organized my own event called Everness. So it's like a little thing of togetherness. So I brought friends. I hired a beautiful rooftop on a massive tall building in the CBD in the town here, and it was by invitation only. And it was one of the most magic events. Everybody that attended it just doesn't get over it, you know. And I think what that feeling from people that kind of one makes you want to come back and do more because
Yeah.
they're asking for it. So I do Edenist maybe once a year, and I think I said, Andres, one day I'll love to experience it here in African soil. What's to see an African sunset go down and listening to melodic and progressive house, and that vibe is just special. So I do it because there's nothing better in the world than being together with friends and people that you love. So, and just music unites everybody. So, yeah, I mean, what more reason than to celebrate? So, yeah, do you need any more reasons? I
That's
don't think
enough
so.
for me right now. So perfect. I really it's awesome, and I really liked it. We have one last question, and that
Sure.
would be just for your fans and for the audience. Can you tell us, are there other upcoming projects or collaborations that you want your fans to know about?
Sure. So I'm busy working with, again, with a producer from Italy and a songwriter from Italy, a Swedish singer, perhaps on my next single, which I'm working with it right now. And I've got also a couple of other singles that I'm working with a top South African producer and songwriter, a friend of mine from school that is become very successful in the country. We're gonna go down together and write more music. So some exciting stuff in the pipeline. I wish things would move faster, you know, and I could release like every 2 weeks if I could. But they're there. They're coming, and I'm super excited to show everybody in the right time.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Javier, for your time, for everything. I really like to talk with you. I'm really excited about your next release, and we'll all stay tuned and hope the best for your release.
Thank you so much. Thanks for your support. Thanks for Six Music as well for believing in this track, for being excited as I am with the track. And yeah, let's make it happen, guys.
Thank you a lot. See you around then. Bye bye.